was asked, how long you spent on the top of Everest? I spent 20 minutes. It took me 2 months to get there. And they said, was that 20 minutes worth 2 months of your life? And that much more, that much pain and suffering. So it was worth every second. The 7 summits consist of the 7 highest peaks in every continent. In Africa, it's Kilimanjaro. I climbed it in 2014. South America is a mountain called Aconcagua. I climbed that in 15 and in 16. In North America, it's Denali. That's the one I just recently climbed. Europe, it's Everest in Russia. I climbed it in 16. In Indonesia, which is Oceania, the Australia, the continent that Australia's on, I climbed in 2019. In Antarctica, I climbed in 2019. And in Everest was Asia, and I climbed in 2018. Everybody can understand the pain and why not. You know, it's cold. Your food, you don't get very good food. It's very physically demanding. It costs a lot of money. There's a lot of why nots, and the why is pretty hard to explain. It took me a few years, and I would write in my notes, my journal, I would write what I saw that day that touched me, that was beautiful. And I started writing a list of the whys. It's hard to verbally explain how beautiful and the sense of accomplishment. When you work for something for so long, so hard, that you finally get to do it. Alpine mountaineering is a lot about controlling, things that you can't control. You can't control the weather. You can't control what the mountain throws at you. But what you can control is your nutrition, your hydration, your self-care. My original purpose for coming to Compass was I had ehrlichiosis. It's a bacteria caused by tick bite. I was going to infectious disease doctors, trying to find a treatment for it. I was running high temperatures. They were treating me with high doses of doxycycline, antibiotics, and I was looking for another form of treatment. And a mutual friend of Dr. Howard's put me in touch with him. And he said that not only he has Lyme disease and been treating himself for it, he said he could help. So I went through my first set of treatments, and I noticed the difference immediately. He's very scientific. I told him I didn't care how the watch was made, I cared what time it is. And he was very good at explaining what he was doing, but I could feel and see the results. I got to a point where I had one mountain left to climb, Denali, and I got to the point where I didn't know if I'd ever get there. A year of treatments got rid of the ehrlichiosis, or got the symptoms gone, and then he heard about my journey about climbing, and he said that he worked with me on my diet, my training, a lot of other things other than just the medical part of it. And I climbed a training climb in Nepal in this April, and beat myself to death for 3 weeks and felt wonderful every day. Got up the next morning, not sore. So something that I was doing, either the supplements or the treatments, had me a lot stronger than I was the year before. And then when I went to Denali this year, I was able to get up and down in 14 days, and like 30 hours on my feet and things like that, and to be able to recover the next day. A lot of them I attribute to the treatments I got there at Compass. And then the first meeting we had, he did a full blood workup on me, and it was really obvious some of the shortfalls I had. My vitamin D level was low. He put me on vitamin supplements that counteracted a lot of my parts. I'm 65 years old, so he first got my body back in balance, and then we treated it as we came. But the first one was the blood work he did, the supplements, trying to get my vitamin, my cholesterol, a lot of the things, the markers, in a good range, which he did. And then the second one were these other treatments, and that treatment made me feel great after I would do it. It gave me a lot more energy. I went through a very hard training schedule, up to 10 to 15 hours a week, and was able to get through that and recover. And I think a lot of those therapies that we put on were beneficial. The first time I met Dr. Howard, I look at people and I see, kind of their enthusiasm, their passion for something. The first time I met him, and I apologize for getting geeked out on the science behind it, but he had a lot of passion for what he did. I appreciate someone have passion, and you can see that they love what they do. If they do that, then they're going to do a better job. And I felt that with Compass and the team of people we had around him. We're all the same way. So I appreciate someone with passion, and he had that. He's excited to talk about my health. I know he's getting paid for it, but there's a little bit more. You can tell when someone likes what they're doing versus it's a job, and he likes what he's doing, he's passionate about what he's doing, and I appreciate that.